Most people feel sovereign until they look at their bank account. You've sealed your energy, you've exited the mental loop, but the money ghost still haunts your decisions. Why? Because the currency you use was designed by the architects of the old world to be a leash. It is a system of mathematical slavery designed to ensure that no matter how hard you run, you stay on the treadmill. Today, we stop running. We are going to stop making money and start commanding value. We are going to look at the financial grid not as a master, but as a glitchy piece of legacy software that we are about to bypass. Welcome to the sovereign economy. The price of admission is your fear. Part 1. The Ghost in the Ledger, the Scarcity Program. The frequency of not enough. To understand the sovereign economy, you must first understand that scarcity is an engineered frequency. In the natural world, the world of the shift, abundance is the default. A single tree produces thousands of seeds. The sun broadcasts more energy in a second than humanity uses in a year. The matrix, however, is a closed-loop system. It requires a pressure differential to function. It creates this by inventing the concept of lack. If the system can convince you that there isn't enough to go around, it triggers your reptilian brain. You move out of your sovereign heart and into a state of survival-based competition. This is the Scarcity Program. It is a low-level static that hums in the background of every decision you make, forcing you to trade your highest dreams for security, which is just another word for a comfortable cage. The debt ghost, mathematical slavery. The primary delivery system for this program is debt. In the old world, money is not a representation of value, it is a representation of unperformed labor. Most people are spending 40 hours a week chasing a ghost, trying to pay back currency that was created out of thin air by a central ledger. Because the interest on that debt doesn't exist in the money supply, the system is mathematically designed to ensure that someone must fail. The economy isn't a neutral marketplace. It's a game of musical chairs where the architects keep removing the seats. When you understand that the ghost in the ledger is rigged, you stop trying to win the game. You simply walk away from the table. The extraction tax. Every time you feel financial stress, you are experiencing a sovereignty leak. That stress is a tax on your frequency. It lowers your vibration, makes you reactive, and keeps you from accessing the quantum field where real solutions live. The matrix doesn't just want your money. It wants the anxiety you produce while trying to get it. That anxiety is the bioelectric fuel that powers the old grid. When you are worried about rent, you aren't thinking about your purpose. When you are stressed about debt, you aren't anchoring the new earth. The ghost in the ledger is a distraction mechanism designed to keep your eyes on the floor instead of the horizon. The first protocol, denormalizing debt. The first step to the sovereign economy is psychological decoupling. You must stop viewing your credit score as your worthiness. You must stop viewing debt as a moral failing and start seeing it for what it is, a faulty line of code in a dying simulation. We aren't talking about ignoring your responsibilities. We are talking about removing their power over your nervous system. When you stop fearing the ghost loses its ability to haunt you. You move from the frequency of I need to the frequency of I provide. And in the quantum field, providers are always prioritized over seekers. Part 2. From labor to resonance, the value shift. The time slave fallacy. The matrix has conditioned you to believe that your income is a direct result of your labor. It tells you that if you want more, you must work longer, sleep less, and grind harder. This is the time slave fallacy. In this model, you are trading the only truly non-renewable asset you have, your life force, for a currency that is being devalued by the second. When you sell your hours, you are capped by the physics of the 3D world. There are only 24 hours in a day. By staying in the labor economy, you have voluntarily placed a ceiling on your own sovereignty. You have agreed to be a component in someone else's machine. Moving to the resonance economy. The sovereign architect does not sell time. They broadcast resonance. Think of a lighthouse. The lighthouse doesn't run around the ocean trying to save ships. It doesn't work hard to find clients. It simply maintains its frequency. Because it is radiant, the ships, the resources, the opportunities, the wealth are naturally drawn to its coordinates. In the resonance economy, your income is not a reflection of your effort, but a reflection of your clarity. When you solve a problem from a state of sovereign radiance, you are providing a quantum shortcut for others. People aren't paying for your hour. They are paying for the timeline shift you provide. 1 hour of high-frequency execution is worth more than 1,000 hours of low-frequency grinding. Your wealth is now a byproduct of your impact, not your exhaustion. The impact loop versus the survival loop. In the survival loop, you work to pay for the right to work again tomorrow. In the impact loop, you create once, and the value echoes infinitely. Matrix thinking. How many hours can I sell today? Sovereign thinking. What high-level solution can I broadcast today that solves a shift-level problem? Whether you are an artist, a coder, a healer, or an entrepreneur, the goal is to move your value into scalable resonance. This means creating assets, digital, spiritual, or physical, that continue to radiate value while you are sleeping, meditating, or leaping. You are no longer working for a living, you are funding your mission. The protocol, pricing your radiance. To enter this economy, you must perform a value audit. Stop asking, what is the market rate for this service? And start asking, what is the value of the transformation I am facilitating? When you price based on resonance, you stop attracting extractors, clients who want to drain your time, and start attracting co-creators, souls who want to exchange value for evolution. This is how you reclaim your time. When you charge 10 times for 10 times the value, you buy back 90% of your life. That bought-back time is the soil in which your sovereignty grows. The matrix wants you busy so you don't have time to be powerful. The sovereign economy gives you the wealth to be still, and in the stillness, you become a master architect. Part 3. The parallel grid, building the off-grid engine. The centralized vulnerability. If your wealth is stored entirely within the matrix banking system, you are not yet sovereign. You are a tenant of your own resources. The old financial grid is a permission-based system that can freeze your access, tax your movements, and inflate away your purchasing power without your consent. This is the master-slave protocol encoded into digital digits. To achieve the final exit, you must move your value into the parallel grid. This isn't just about avoiding taxes or hiding money. It is about vibrational jurisdiction. It is about ensuring that your energy, wealth, is stored in a medium that respects your autonomy. The Trinity of Sovereign Assets. The parallel grid is built on 3 pillars that the matrix cannot easily corrupt. Decentralized finance, the digital exit, utilizing blockchain technology not as a gamble, but as a non-custodial vault. When you hold your own private keys, you are your own bank. You move from a system of trust to a system of verification. You are no longer asking for permission to move your energy across the planet. Hard assets, the physical anchor. Gold, silver, land, and essential resources. These are analog wealth. They have no counterparty risk. If the power goes out or the digital grid glitches, a sovereign soul with physical land and precious metals remains untethered. The peer-to-peer, P2P network. This is the most powerful pillar. It is the sovereign circle. When you trade value directly with another sovereign soul, exchanging your resonance for their resources without a centralized middleman, you are creating a microeconomy of the new earth. These transactions are invisible to the matrix because they happen in the frequency of trust, not debt. Decoupling from the fiat mindset. Most people fear moving to the parallel grid because it feels unprotected. But you must ask, protected by whom? The same system that devalues your currency by 10% a year? The same system that uses your deposits to fund the loops you are trying to escape? True security is not found in a government guarantee. It is found in utility and scarcity. When you own assets that the world needs and that the matrix cannot print, you have achieved financial escape velocity. You are no longer checking the market to see if you are wealthy. You check your inventory and your network. In the new earth, your net worth is measured by your resilience. The protocol, the 10% migration. You do not need to collapse your entire financial life overnight. That would create a frequency shock that triggers your survival brain. Instead, begin the 10% migration. Take 10% of your monthly residence income and move it into a hard asset. Take another 10% and move it into a decentralized vault. Find one person in your circle to trade with directly, bypassing the retail loop. By doing this, you are telling the matrix, I am withdrawing my consent, I am building my own grid. As your parallel grid grows, your fear of the system shrinks. You are no longer a victim of the economy, you are the governor of your own resource flow. Part 4, the Wealth Command, Financial Alchemy. The magnetism of the void. In the matrix, you are taught to chase money, but in the quantum field, anything you chase must, by definition, run away from you. Chasing is the frequency of lack. The sovereign architect understands that money is a liquid resource. It flows toward the point of least resistance and highest clarity. To command wealth, you do not reach out, you open up. You create a vibrational vacuum that the universe is compelled to fill. This is the wealth command. The act of deciding that your mission is so vital that the resources required for its completion are already in transit. You aren't asking for a paycheck. You are issuing a requisition order to the field. The Sovereign Minimum Protocol. To activate the command, you must first establish your sovereign minimum. This is the specific frequency of resources required for you to operate at your highest radiance. Most people ask for enough to get by. The universe gives them exactly that, survival. The architect asks for enough to expand. When you set your minimum, you stop negotiating with the 3D world. If a client offers less, you don't compromise out of fear. You decline, knowing that the frequency of compromise is a leak. By holding your line, you prove to the quantum field that you are a high-value node. The system then reconfigures to meet your price because you have become non-negotiable. The internal ritual, the golden calibration. Every morning, before you interface with the digital grid, perform the golden calibration. The visualization, see your heart center as a sun of sovereign gold. 2. The expansion. Watch the light expand until it covers your bank accounts, your physical assets, and your P2P networks. The decree, speak the command. I am the source of my own supply. I do not trade time for debt. I broadcast value for resonance. The resources for my mission are locked to my coordinates. It is done. This isn't affirmation. It is calibration. You are setting the atmospheric pressure of your reality so that scarcity literally cannot exist in your space. Conclusion. The Sovereign Horizon. We have completed the trilogy +2. You have the exit, the blueprint, the battery, the leap, and now the economy. You are no longer a passenger in this simulation. You are the primary user. The old world will continue to scream about recession, inflation, and crisis. Let them. Those are the sounds of a dying engine. Your engine is powered by Radiance. Your economy is backed by autonomy. Your timeline is locked to freedom. The shift is not coming. The shift is you. Join the shift. Recode your world. I will see you on the parallel grid.